what is reinvention? Let's start with the formal definition. Reinvention is the action or process through which something is changed so much that it appears to be entirely new. So why are we talking about reinvention here today? Reinvention is common everywhere. It's common in our workplace. The average person tends to go through 3 to 7 careers before they retire. And for this new generation, this number may be more likely 5 to 7 for the current and upcoming generation of workers. And we see it in nature as well. Butterflies, they go from being an egg, a larva, pupa, to finally a butterfly. They reinvent themselves. Frogs, from eggs, tadpole plus legs, to a frog. And reinvention helps us to grow. Reinvention takes us out of our comfort zone. And when we're out of our comfort zone, we grow. We all know by personal experience. A good life requires growth and change. But to be forced into reinvention is painful. To lose our job and be forced to find a new career is painful. To burn out from our current career and try finding new meaningful work is very painful. To retire early and not to know what to do with our time is very painful. So today, I want to make the argument that we all need to actively embrace the power of reinvention. So we're in control of our lives, not the other way around. But how to do this? Well, no worries. That's the reason why I'm here today. I'm going to share with you 5 tips on how to successfully reinvent yourself. Number 1 tip, imagine the possibilities. And to highlight this point, I want to share with you a tale of 2 marketing scouts. So, long time ago, there was this shoe factory. And this shoe factory, they wanted to expand this market, specifically to Africa. So they sent its 2 best marketing scouts. They told them to study the prospects for expanding the shoe business in Africa. Go check it out. So what did they find? Business opportunity, place to sell shoes, or a dead end, no place where they can sell shoes? Well, it depends on who you ask. Marketing Scout 1 came back and said this: situation hopeless. Nobody wears shoes here. We can't sell shoes here in Africa. However, when you ask Marketing Scout number 2, this is what he said: glorious business opportunity. They have no shoes. We can sell shoes to everybody here. One saw a hopeless situation. The other person saw an opportunity. All of life comes down to the story that we tell ourselves. Story of possibilities or story of limitations. Thus, the first step to reinventing ourselves is to imagine the possibilities. What is possible for us? Dare to dream? What is possible? What are my impossible dreams? Why? And why can't I do it? So when I first thought about being on YouTube, to be honest, I felt hopeless. Who was I to think that I could compete on YouTube? With so many other bigger YouTubers already in the market, who was I to think that I could fit in? I was just a middle-aged guy who spent the last 10 years working behind the desk, running a bunch of financial scenarios. I had no videography experience, no idea how to film a video, no idea how to edit a video, and never owned a camera up to that moment. But I decided to dream of the possibilities. So maybe I told myself, I can fit in. I can join the ranks. So I challenge you. Dream of the possibilities. Maybe it could be wanting to be an author, a politician, a new career, whatever it may be, dream of the possibilities. Our thoughts and imagination are the only limits to our possibilities. But you might be asking, you don't know where to start. Where do I start? Which leads to the next tip. Tip number 2, find your sweet spot. Find your ISO intersection. So what is ISO intersection? I stands for interest, S stands for skills, O stands for opportunity, ISO. The magic happens when you find a sweet spot where all 3 factors intersect. Your interest intersect over skills, intersect over opportunities. This is where the magic happens. In order to find out your ISO, ask these questions to yourself. One, for your interest. What fascinates you? What topics do you like to discuss? What do you like to read about? To identify your skills. What are your skills? What do you find easy that others find extremely hard? And if you have a really hard time identifying this, ask other people. They'll tell you what you're good at. You might think that's just very easy for you, but if others see a talent within you, they'll tell you. And opportunities. What opportunities do you see? What trends do you see? What are the possibilities? So for me, my interest at the time was video, storytelling, having flexibility of where, when I can work. Skills, speaking, data analysis, personal finance. Opportunity, I saw the rise of the creator economy, I saw the rise of video, rise of YouTube. And for me, this is where I found my sweet spot. But you might be saying again, I don't see any opportunities around me. Well, I beg to differ. Opportunities are everywhere if you know where to look. Which leads to the next tip. Tip number 3, think outside the box. And to highlight this tip, I want to go through this exercise, the 9-dot puzzle. So I'm going to give you these 9 dots and give you an instruction. Join all 9 dots with 4 straight lines without taking pen from paper. Okay, you want to try to connect all 9 dots with 4 straight lines. That's the exercise. So many of us, we might just start at the top, go to the left, go to the bottom, and go up. And we're like, it's not connecting. I still got a dot in the middle. All right, let me start at the other end. Go to the bottom, go up, and maybe I can cross over. Still, I can't do it. There's a dot. All right, let me start diagonal. Go up, go diagonal again. This is even worse. I got 2 dots left now. I can't do this. So you might be thinking, this is impossible. This cannot be done. You give me an impossible exercise, Tae. Well, let me help you. With the original instruction, where it says join all 9 dots with 4 straight lines without taking pen from paper, I'm going to add one more hint. Feel free to use the whole sheet of paper. The whole sheet of paper. In essence, these dots are saying, hey, bring some lines out here, outside the dots. So let's try that. I'm going to go out, diagonal, down, and diagonal again. Connected to 9 dots, right? You might be thinking, whoa, that's crazy. That's crazy. So why do so many of us struggle with this problem? Let's look at the original instruction. It says, join all 9 dots with 4 straight lines without taking pen from paper. It never said within the square formed by the outer dots. Within the square formed by the outer dots. We created our own limitation. We saw this problem, and we created our own box within these 9 dots. Every problem, every dilemma, every dead end we find ourselves facing in life only appears unsolvable inside a particular frame or a point of view. However, when we enlarge the box or create another frame around the situation, new opportunities appear. Think outside the box. See opportunities where others see limitations. And you see this in the business world as well. You know, there's a book called The Blue Ocean Strategy talking about how don't try to compete where everyone is there. Find a new opportunity, new market. So for me personally, instead of looking at YouTube landscape as being crowded, I reframe my perspective to see the opportunities. What videos are not being made? What personalities are missing from YouTube? What age group is not represented? So I focused on gaps on YouTube. I made very, very boring videos about how to do a backdoor Roth IRA. Only this room can appreciate this. But I made a whole tutorial about this. Made a video about VTSAX. I mean, who watches this stuff, right? Made a video about optimal order of investing. Seriously, I mean, who watches this, right? And then I did a book review on The Simple Path to Wealth. God bless Jill Collins for that content. And I leaned into my boring personality, okay? I don't have a vivacious personality. So I had made a whole video about the life of Mr. Boring. And I embraced my age group. I didn't try to compete with the 20-year-olds or 30-year-olds. I said, you know, I'm in my 40s. I feel comfortable in my skin. So I made a whole video about the 40 things I realized after I turned 40. But you might be thinking, okay, Tae, but I'm not on YouTube. And I have no desire to be on YouTube. Not a problem. We are living in an era of opportunities. People are living on average up to 77 years of age. You go to the internet, there are 175 zettabytes of information. And some crazy individuals are retiring at the age of 30. We're faced with more opportunities than any other time in history. So flip the script. What assumptions am I making? Is there any other way of looking at this? What would give me more opportunities? But to really supercharge your chance of success, let's add one more ingredient. Tip number 4, pursue financial independence, which many of you guys are already doing if you're in this room. But to show you the power of FI in the process of reinvention, I want to share with you my personal favorite example of reinvention. Mr. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Former bodybuilder, former actor, former governor. But do you want to know an interesting fact about Arnold Schwarzenegger? Arnold was already financially independent before he started acting. A lot of people don't know this, but he was already financially independent. He didn't need to act to make money. So he was already financially independent before he started acting. This is a quote from Arnold. I saw over the years, the people that worked out in the gym and that I met in the acting classes, they were all very vulnerable because they didn't have any money. And they had to take anything that was offered to them because that was their living. I didn't want to get into that situation. This is how Arnold made his first million. Money from bodybuilding. He was 7-time Mr. Olympia. He took that money. He didn't spend it. He took that money, invested into a mail order business. Well, he sent out catalogs about how to become a bodybuilder, how to build your body. Took that money, invested that into bricklaying with his best friend, and then he invested that into real estate. Thus, he was already FI at the age of 30, even before he started acting. He didn't need to accept every part that came his way. He could be patient and wait for the perfect part. Thus, Arnold only accepted leading roles in Hollywood when he first started. And the rest is history. And though I didn't become Mr. Olympia at the age of 23, my wife and I saw the importance of financial independence in the pursuit of our reinvention. This is our boring FI story. For 10 plus years, we worked at a 9-to-5. I was a finance director. My wife was a NICU nurse. And we grinded away. We paid off $105,000 to student debt. We had a target of 50% savings rate. and we achieved COAST-FI. Thank you. So by the time we made the transition to reinvent ourselves, we had 2 years' worth of financial runway and a strong career capital that we could always fall back on. So by the time I started my YouTube channel, this is what I felt. I had staying power. I didn't feel rushed. I wasn't distracted. I had the ability to focus. I had emotional comfort. And I had confidence because we were already at COAST-FI and we had 2 years of runway and we had career capital. So when I first started my YouTube channel in 2021, this was when I left my day job, I had whopping 25 subscribers and 11 views per video. This was amazing. 11 people watched my videos. Yeah. 2 years later, I was able to hit 100,000, and plus, these days, it's about 20,000 plus views per video. Thank you. However, FI was my secret weapon to this success. I started my YouTube channel in the middle of 2021. As you can see the graph, there wasn't much progress until about 2 years later in mid-2023 where I could say, okay, I feel like there's some traction, it's growing. However, in order to get there, I had to survive the grind. This is where you're uploading videos, no one's watching. You keep uploading videos, no one's watching. You keep uploading videos, no one's watching. You keep doing that over and over and over again, honing your craft, okay? That went on for 1.5 years. However, FI helped me to survive that grind. I didn't have this pressure that I needed to succeed. This was an experiment that I was doing in my life, and FI helped me to survive this grind. And if you are pursuing FI, you are perfectly positioned for reinvention. You can make all the mistakes in the world and still have a greater chance for success than most people out there. But you're still not convinced. You don't know that if you can do it. So let me share with you one last tip. Tip number 5, find inspiration from other people. There are many famous examples of reinvention. Jimmy Carter was a former Navy officer, turned president, turned humanitarian. Lady Gaga, singer, artist, to an actress. Dwayne Johnson, athlete, wrestler, to actor. But reinvention isn't just reserved for the rich and the famous. There are people that are reinventing themselves all around you. They could be sitting right next to you. Jordan Grummett, AKA Doc G, EconoMe Speaker 2020. Reinvented himself from a physician to a podcast host to an author. Jackie Cummings-Koski, EconoMe Speaker 2020. First-generation college student, sales professional raising a young daughter, to today, a finance educator. Rose Rosenberry, EconoMe Speaker 2020. From a teacher to a business owner, to a politician. And yours truly, Tae Kim, EconoMe Speaker 2024. Yeah. As a former soldier, turned finance director, turned a middle-aged YouTuber. Yeah. If you think about it, most FI stories are really stories of reinvention. So I challenge you, what are you waiting for? Build your own reinvention story. Do you know what's out there waiting beyond that beach? That's not immortality, it's reinvention. So take it, it's yours. Thank you.